What's up, everybody? Dante here. This is my review of the Focusrite Vocaster One. Now, let this be known straight from the jump. This is a device that's an interface for a computer to do podcasts for. Now, you cannot record externally to this, so I just want to get that right off the bat. There's two versions of this. It's the V1, that's what I'm going to call it, the V1 and the V2. Basically, the V1 allows you to be a podcaster with your computer and record a podcast with your computer, have like a Shure SM7b, and it connects to your computer. You get power from it, like that. Now, they have the V2, right? This will have a host and a guest, where you can kind of do an interview style type of podcast with, your computer, you and the guest have a podcast. Now, another thing I want to say is I would never recommend recording a podcast on the computer. Only reason why: computers crash, things happen, updates happen, computer restarts, anything can happen when it comes to that. So that's why I never recommend just recording a podcast off a computer. Just me. But having said all that, let's get into the Vocaster One, the V1. Now, this device, when I looked into the hardware section of the paperwork, I didn't see any gain levels. So from what I've seen online and things that I come across, that it has 70 dB of gain. Good. So that's why I can power the Shure SM7b that's sitting in front of me. Great. Now, it has a few settings on here. It has the gain setting when you press it and it comes up on your computer. I'm not going to press it. Then it has the enhance button. I have the enhance button on, so when I go back and kind of play back and like compress it and like convert it over to MP3, we'll see how it sounds. But on my computer here, I have, the software for the Vcast One, and I got Audacity recording the whole thing. Now, I know you got GarageBand and all these others. So I know Audacity very well. I know how to maneuver through it, so that's what I'm using. So we're going for that. But let me start off with the design. I like the design. I really do. Only thing I do not like about it is this red trim around it, but Focusrite, so that's mostly that, like they trade colors of red, right? And the bottom part looks like this stone texture. Like it looked like a stone, which is cool, but I kind of would like an all black. That's why I don't mind a red trim too much, but it would have been nice if it would have been like a red light, and you can kind of make it into RGB colors and stuff like that, which is cool. So we have the gain knob here. So you can turn it up and down and kind of it let you know if you're peaking and everything in this little knob here. And you see the little lights on the side of it. I think it's great. Now, here's the studio monitor headphone jack. Now, it does use a 1/4-inch headphone jack, and you kind of can monitor audio through that. Great. Like I said, this is an interface you can connect to your computer, and you kind of use it as an interface if you're doing Zoom calls, podcasts, remote podcasts, things like that. It also has 48V, so you can kind of power condenser microphones with this. It has a phone jack that allows you to connect the phone through here, have phone calls. You can stick your monitors in here. I mean, this is a great device. It runs at $200. So for me, now the question is, why did I get this? A lot of times I've been wanting to have meetings with people, and everybody don't want to be on the phone. Everybody want to have, virtual, Zoom calls or something like that. And if I get into making podcasts remotely, I want to kind of get into this software I saw called Riverside. I've seen people do podcasts with that, and it was just like amazing. And what I want is an interface where I can kind of do all this stuff for a podcast through this and remotely do it with a guest. That's why I got this one. That's why I didn't get the two, because I'm not going to use this in my laptop to do a podcast. What I'm going to use this for is remote calls, remote podcasts. That's why I got the V1. Now the V2, like if you want to get one, have a remote podcast with two, I guess you can do that still. But for me, like I said, I always record my podcast on the Rodecaster Pro, the Zoom H6, or the Sound Device Mix Pre 3. So for me, that's why I've always got this. This, I definitely recommend this under one condition. Like I said, I'm using it for remote podcasting. I'm not going to use my computer to do a podcast that often. I just want you to remember that. Because I don't want you to think, you can record externally into this. No, you cannot. It's through the computer. So that's where I think the issue lies with a lot of people. They don't really mention that. And that's why I'm kind of like, let me put that out there first. And like I said, with this device, it powers, a Shure SM7b. If you got a high OPR 40, the Electro Voice E20, all those ones that need an extra gain, this can hold up for that. Because like I said, I looked online. When I looked through the paperwork, I didn't find anything. It just said. So I saw 70 dB a gain. So if it's powering this just off of that, that's great. So I think this is a great device for remote podcasting. Or even like if you want to do one on your laptop, some people do it, some people don't. Like I don't recommend it because like I said, computers crash. I always recommend an external device as far as like a Zoom H6, Mix Pre, Vocaster Pro. There's other devices out there, but I always recommend recording it on an external audio device, not something like this. And like I said, you have the gain headphone dials and stuff like that right here. And they're real smooth. I like the texture of the top here. You got the buttons for the mute button, the enhance button, the gain button, all these things. You got, like I said, you got a button for phantom power, so you can kind of use condenser microphones or headphones. So for the price point that this is, I think this is a solid device for doing podcasting from a computer or remote podcasting with a guest from, a different state if they're not in town, something like that. But I definitely recommend it at the price point is at. This is $200. I think the V2 is $300. To each his own, whichever way you want to go is up to you. But for me, solid choice here. Definitely recommend it. Hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And also stay tuned for more. And I want to thank you guys once again. I'll see you next time. Peace.